Hello, good afternoon. I did a live stream a couple of weeks ago and I'm just doing a quick update now because some people were worried about me after that one because I got quite emotional and they were worried that I'm okay. I'm okay. I've just had the most wonderful full week back in Cockermouth. It's been a joy. I felt totally at home again after all the trauma of last year and everything that happened. Thanks so much to everyone who's been so friendly. It's been lovely to be in and out of people's houses and have people in and out of mine again. As well, certainly a lot of us have been so exposed to COVID. I've had 3 jabs, had it twice and so on, that it's just time. So what's happening with politics in Cockermouth just now? I'm going to try and say it as it is. If you disagree with anything, please just add comments. If it's been shared and I don't see them, please go to my Councillor Rebecca Hanson blog or Facebook page, and if you post there or on YouTube, I'll definitely see those comments. So if there's things I don't know or things I've got wrong, I want to know. If anyone goes, oh, she's just got it all wrong because she's unstable or anything like that, just look at them and go, no, that's about you, because it just is. So where are we? In Cockermouth, well, since 2019, we have had the worst MP by far that anyone's known in Cumbria, as long as anyone can remember. There's no casework going on, no real casework, just stuff for show in brochures. As far as I can tell, if you know any real casework that he's done, please let us know, please post. I want to give credit where it's due, it's just really shocking. No policy work. He had the right, he won the members' bill to get a bill through Parliament, didn't have anything, so he had to sign off someone else's work with that option. And there's so much we need done here in West Cumbria. Never seen any signs of him showing empathy to anyone ever. Again, if you've got any evidence to contradict that, please let us know. It's true. His office, which should be funding all this important casework on policy for West Cumbria, on complex casework that can be resolved locally. All that money is just going on propaganda. Totally untrue, this massive narrative that Cumbria County Council was shite and needed to be taken over by Tories in West Cumbria who've done a brilliant job of running Allerdale and Copeland. Absolutely untrue, but it's so well presented. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm saying he's very bad MP, very dangerous. He's doing a really good job of communicating this totally untrue message. Copeland is one of the worst failing councils in Britain and Allerdale was not very strong, and so now we've cut Cumbria in half, or he's cut Cumbria in half, despite having no rationale for that, shall we say, positively. South Cumbria, Westmoreland and Furness, they're just delighted to have got rid of West Cumbria. Yeah. So we've got a horrendous MP, and we've always had this amazing meshing at the top of politics across all parties, where people have worked together most of the time on complex issues and have seen the benefits of having people from different parties involved, because you get this triangulation in Westminster when there needs to be action there if you've got representatives from several parties working on the same issues, or sometimes just one party's stronger on one policy area so they can drive it forward if we've got links into all parties. That's the reality of it, and it's being cleared out completely. This is not conservatism that's happened. This has been a hijacking of the Conservative Party that, oh God, are all gone. You see the Conservative Club in Cockermouth up for sale. It is like that. All the great county councillors I've worked with, they are just clearing out wholesale. They are out of there and they are not standing for election again. And likewise, Labour, they're just giving up and running. Alan Barry, lovely chair of the Copeland Committee of Cumbria County Council, inspiration for me, fantastic guy, he's going. The cabinet members from West Cumbria, Celia Tibble, who's our highways guy, Keith Little, all gone. So all the people who understood how politics was and how it was actually operating and were used to working on these complex issues, which were all done at county level or above, are just gone. And instead, what you've got standing are people who think that Mark Jenkinson is fabulous and his mates, having their campaigns run by his office, no contact details for them. They're just the front end on the leaflet. And when they're getting elected, they're doing bugger all. I mean, when I had to stand down last year, we ended up with a Tory candidate. All the projects I'd got signed off haven't gone ahead. The path below Fitzview, Fairfield View, that was all agreed that it'd be sorted out, hasn't been done. All the flood reinforcement work under the bridge on the A595 in Patcastle, essential work. It's signed off by a Tory committee with a Tory majority, with me as a Lib Dem councillor fighting for it and getting it all agreed. And it was about to go ahead and it's just not happened. And at the parish council meeting on last Wednesday, I think it was. Sorry, I wasn't there. I was at the GDF consultation, which I felt I needed to go to and wanted to go to. But the Tory, they didn't even turn up. 2 county councillors didn't turn up. I mean, I always submitted a report that was like 6 pages and took detailed questions on any of it. They're just not there. And with 3 Tory Allerdale councillors, only 1 of them turned up. It's just disgraceful. Absolute shambles. And it matters. When I was county councillor, I was working all the time, you know, when SERG was struggling with a pandemic, with lockdown, and they needed policy work done. I was always there for them, sorting things out quickly. All that is gone for Cockermouth. It really, really matters. However, we're going from 9 councillors to 2. They are going to be paper Tories. I recognise that. I've spent the last 3 months trying to work with Labour all across the country. You'll read in the papers, there's a major article in the Daily Mail today. Deals are being done between the parties that are trying to deal with the most toxic end of Tories. They're not all like that, but those of us who've got them are working together to try and deal with them generally. All across Cumberland, we're working together, except in Cockermouth. So I spent the last 3 months trying to work with Labour to say, look, you've never won either of these seats. You're not fighting them particularly hard. We've won one. We've come close to winning the other. Why don't we push forward in one and you push forward in the other? So either we could stand up and stand down candidates, and I was been totally up for that, or we could both stand candidates but focus campaigning on the different areas. And I've spoken with all the key people, gently, over time, offering all sorts of support. There's loads of people who would turn out to deliver for Labour if they were working in that way. A lot of my deliverers, I've knocked on these are 2 divisions, Cockermouth North, Cockermouth South. I've knocked on every single door, apart from some that have been built since I did that. I know these areas inside out. And Cockermouth is the only area where Labour have just put the phone down. Absolutely no way. Launched attacks on me rather than on the Tories. I don't know. I don't get it, but I can't. There's only so much I can do, and I have to walk away from this. If anyone knows any better, if anyone is willing to talk to us, have to get in touch urgently, because postal vote's going out in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, really soon. This is going to be mainly over. And sometimes you just can't fix things, so you move on. We've got 2 amazing candidates, by the way. In Cockermouth North, it's Fiona Jayatillaka. She's brilliantly talented. She'd be incredible at this. Got the full Lib Dem network behind her, and I know how amazing they are for getting stuff done because I relied on them. And of course, she'd have me as well. She stood up at short notice when I had to stand down last year. People didn't know her, and she broke a leg during the campaign. This time, she's totally ready to go, but she is working hour after hour at Food Bank, if you want to talk to her about that, because there's so much work going on there with increasing poverty. And that's another reason why you're going to need great council representation, because there's going to be major issues. We need people who can influence policy and understand how to do that and will do that. And the other one is Stephen Barnes, and he's doing that right now. He's chair of the British Beekeeping Association, as well as being a Cockermouth Town Councillor. And his policy work on that is just brilliant. And I'm really enjoying supporting him with that. Great guy, 2 amazing candidates, and either of them would have happily stood down for a deal with Labour, because when you've got good candidates, they are usually people who are in it for the greater good and don't mind sidelining themselves. Then nobody actually wants to push forward and be in the spotlight, as I have been, because it's tough at times. I've had to lean on them hard to do this. They are up for it, but they would have stood back if there'd been any budging. So what can you do to help? Well, if you think you can influence Labour, get involved. If you're just doing what they tell you, it's not great. It's just so much better in the rest of the country. If you think you can get involved in the Tories and positively influence them, then please get involved. It's mad what's going on. It's horrendous for West Cumbria. We need strong people to get involved. If you get involved in either party from that purpose, contact me anytime for help. I will do my best to help you. If you believe in evidence-led politics from people who are totally passionate about serving the public good and are basically apolitical, like me, but value having an amazing party network, please join us, the Lib Dems. It's really inspirational. I mean, I got involved in 2010 when consultation in education was abolished, and I was abolished as an expert in education. And I expected it to be crap because I'd seen it through the media, and I've just been surrounded by totally inspirational, brilliant people all the time. Which takes me on to where I am going. Oh yeah, Greens. Get involved with the Greens as well. They have been brilliant in talking to us. They are not standing a candidate in Cockermouth North against Fiona, and we are not standing a candidate in Bothwell and the Worrells against Jill Perry. And I'm doing everything I can to support Jill. I would love to see her elected, and I don't think there's any other active candidate in the division she's fighting, so it's perfect. But then she didn't have to negotiate with Cockermouth Labour on that. She was negotiating with the rest of the Labour. Everywhere around Cockermouth, it's only Cockermouth North and Cockermouth South where nobody is talking to us. It's going on everywhere else, and there are quite a few seats where Labour have not stood candidates for our excellent candidates up in the Carlisle area in response for things that we've done for them to help them bring good candidates through. So yeah, if you are a Green supporter and you want to get involved, please go out and support Jill, campaign with her in Bothwell and the Worrells. And if you could vote for your Fiona, I'd be hugely grateful. That'd be great. If you're in Cockermouth North. And if you're Lib Dem and in Bothwell and the Worrells, please vote for Jill. So I am back to my roots. This is what I'm doing instead of trying to sort stuff out in Cockermouth just now. I'm meant to have this better prepared, but I've got to leave in 20 minutes. I'm going to 2 conferences, the Association of Maths Teachers Conference, and then onto the NEU, the major union conference this week. So I've got 2 days in Northampton and then 2 days in Bournemouth. And I'm trying to drive forward my petition to get this terrible, terrible new test for year 4s consulted, and rebuild consultation in education, because there are bits of the Conservative Party that I think have the potential to be quite sensible. And I'm hoping Nadine Zahawi, who I've spoken to before about nuclear issues and seemed quite grounded, and Will Quince, who I've praised before, are people who want to rebuild consultation in education. So now's the time to fight for that, because they are not surrounded by people who will support them to do that in their own parties unless there's a public demand for them to rebuild consultation. So I have to go. Anything you want to say, please post comments. If there's things I've missed, I'd love to know. And I'll just finish and I'll put in a link to the video about this petition I'm doing in case you want to know more about that, to rebuild consultation in education policy. And if you have got time to sign and share it, I'd hugely value that. Love to you all. I'm still around for Cockermouth. If there's anything I can do for anyone, please tell me. I'm back and forwards all the time. Sometimes I'm in my own home, sometimes I'm staying with friends. Bye for now.